Good evening, and welcome to the Sleeping Zoo. Facts to fall asleep to. We move now to the vast fluid realm of the global ocean, descending beneath the waves to encounter a creature whose very existence is a pilgrimage, a silent, ancient mariner whose navigation predates the compass and whose lineage extends back to the dawn of the dinosaurs. This is the green sea turtle, Chelonia mydas, the largest of the hard-shelled sea turtles and the world's most widespread herbivore, an animal that embodies the tranquility of the open ocean and the quiet vulnerability of life at sea. To watch a green turtle glide through the water is to observe the perfect synergy of hydrodynamics and endurance, a living sculpture refined by 100 million years of evolution. Our exploration begins not with its graceful movement, but with the immense physiological challenges of living as a reptile in the endless blue, starting with the fortress it carries on its back. The most conspicuous and essential feature of the green sea turtle is its carapace, or shell, a structure that is far more than mere armor. The shell is not merely an external shield, but is osteodermally integrated, fused directly to the turtle's ribcage and vertebrae, making it an integral part of the skeleton, a lightweight but immensely strong, hydrodynamically streamlined dome built to withstand the pressures of deep diving and the crushing power of oceanic predators. This osseous fusion gives the turtle a stable, low-drag profile essential for its highly migratory lifestyle, allowing it to move with minimal energy expenditure. The coloration of the shell, often a mottled brown or olive green, provides excellent camouflage against the seafloor. But the turtle's common name derives not from the shell's exterior, which is surprisingly variable, but from the distinct layer of greenish fat that lies beneath the shell. This pigment is a direct result of its adult herbivorous diet, primarily consisting of seagrass and filamentous algae, making the turtle a biological embodiment of the vegetation it consumes, a unique trophic indicator in a world of otherwise carnivorous megafauna. Beneath this armor lies a highly adapted respiratory system designed for life in a world where air is a fleeting luxury. Unlike most terrestrial reptiles and certainly most mammals, which can only manage a few minutes of sustained submersion, the green turtle is a master of apnea, capable of remaining underwater for hours while resting or migrating slowly. This incredible endurance is achieved through a combination of physiological tricks that optimize oxygen utilization and conservation. Firstly, the turtle possesses remarkably large, complex lungs that not only facilitate gas exchange, but also provide substantial buoyancy control, allowing them to neutrally hover or descend rapidly. Critically, during deep dives or long periods of inactivity, the turtle can dramatically slow its heart rate, sometimes dropping to only 3 to 5 beats per minute, a profound phenomenon known as bradycardia that drastically reduces the metabolic demand for oxygen. This is coupled with a high tolerance for lactic acid and anaerobic metabolism, allowing its muscles and vital organs to function efficiently when oxygen stores are depleted, essentially running on reserve fuel until it must surface to breathe. The flexibility of its metabolic rate is key to its survival in environments with unpredictable surfacing opportunities. While the carapace protects the core, the limbs are transformed into elegant instruments of propulsion. The powerful 4 flippers driving the turtle forward with a unique, simultaneous wing-like stroke that is more akin to flight than to swimming, an aquatic flight that gives the turtle its signature grace. The structure of these flippers is highly specialized, rigid yet flexible, acting as hydrofoils that convert the turtle's muscular power into efficient forward thrust over vast distances. The hind flippers, by contrast, are smaller and function primarily as rudders for steering and balancing, providing stability during long-distance migrations and, critically for the females, essential tools for excavation when they return to the land to nest. The eyes of the green turtle are large and well adapted for underwater vision, but a life spent moving between the hypersaline ocean and dry land requires a radical solution to the constant intake of salt. This is a perpetual osmotic challenge, solved by specialized salt glands located just behind the eyes. These highly efficient glands actively pump excess sodium chloride from the bloodstream, concentrating it into a hypersaline fluid that the turtle excretes, giving the illusion of crying when the turtle is out of the water. This is not emotional distress, but a necessary physiological dump of the salt load required to maintain osmotic balance, a visible testament to its mastery of the marine environment. Furthermore, their esophagus possesses backward-pointing, spine-like papillae. These keratinized projections are not for defense, but are a crucial part of their digestive architecture, ensuring that the slippery seagrass and algae they forage remain securely on the path to the stomach, preventing the loss of vital food in the turbulent water column. We now turn our attention to the vast geographical scale of the turtle's existence, exploring its habitat and migration, a life that spans entire ocean basins and connects vastly different ecosystems. The green sea turtle is found throughout the tropical and subtropical oceans worldwide, a pelagic wanderer whose individual home range can cover thousands of kilometers, but their life is rigidly divided between 3 distinct habitat types, each demanding different behaviors and physiological states. The first is the pelagic habitat, the open ocean gyres and current systems, which serves as the lost year's nursery ground for the post-hatchling juvenile turtles. They spend years drifting and growing, often camouflaged among floating sargassum weed, feeding on plankton, small mollusks, and nectin, existing in a carnivorous stage until they reach a certain size threshold. The second is the benthic foraging grounds, the turtle's adult home. This is typically a shallow coastal zone characterized by vast, sunlit beds of seagrass and dense algal mats, a primary food source for the mature, herbivorous turtles, creating vast, productive meadows that sustain their enormous size and the distinct green coloration of their fat. The third, and arguably the most spiritually significant, is the Natal Beach, the specific stretch of sand where the female turtle was born decades earlier, the destination of a massive and mysterious migration that defies human understanding and involves a precise homing instinct. The green turtle's navigation during these monumental migrations is one of the great unsolved puzzles of natural history. They travel hundreds or even thousands of kilometers between their feeding grounds and these discrete nesting beaches, crossing featureless tracts of open ocean with astonishing accuracy, often returning to the very same 100 meters of sand where they first saw the light. The prevailing scientific theory suggests the turtle relies on a unique ability to sense and interpret the Earth's geomagnetic field. The magnetic field lines vary in inclination, the angle at which they intersect the Earth's surface, and intensity, the strength of the field, across the globe. These parameters create a magnetic signature, or GPS grid, unique to every coastal region. The turtle is believed to possess magnetoreceptors, likely tiny crystals of magnetite within its brain tissue, which allow it to determine its precise latitude and longitude by detecting these subtle variations in the magnetic field, providing an ancient, unerring navigational map that guides them across the planet. This precise homing ability is what makes the protection of specific nesting sites so critical, as a female cannot simply choose a new beach if her original one is destroyed. The reproductive behavior of the green turtle is a powerful, cyclical testament to the continuity of life, a brief but vital link between the ocean and the land that is governed by lunar cycles and seasonal warmth. After an absence of many years, often 10 or more, the female turtle undertakes the strenuous mating process in shallow water near the nesting site, a process which can involve multiple males competing aggressively. She then emerges from the ocean under the cover of darkness, hauling her massive weight across the high tide line to the softer, drier sand. The effort is exhausting and precarious, and the female may perform false crawls, abandoning her attempt if the sand is too hard, the slope too steep, or if she is disturbed by light or noise. Once a suitable site is found, she uses her hind flippers to meticulously excavate a deep, flask-shaped chamber in the sand, a process that can take over an hour and is critical for both the temperature regulation and physical protection of the eggs. Within this nest, she deposits a clutch of approximately 100 soft, leathery white eggs, a massive caloric investment that represents the culmination of years of feeding. This process is repeated several times during a single nesting season, with the female returning to the beach every 12 to 14 days, creating multiple nests before retiring to the feeding grounds for 2 to 3 years to replenish the massive energy expenditure. As with its crocodilian relatives, the green turtle exhibits temperature-dependent sex determination. The ambient temperature of the sand within the nest dictates the sex of the developing embryo. Eggs incubated at temperatures above the pivotal temperature, roughly 29 degrees Celsius, typically produce females, while cooler temperatures produce males. This biological quirk has created a looming existential crisis for the species in the age of climate change. A sustained increase in average sand temperatures, driven by global warming, is already pushing nesting beaches towards the all-female or feminization point, where every hatchling born is female. This demographic imbalance is a massive threat to the long-term viability of the species, as it reduces the future availability of mating males, essentially setting a timer for the collapse of breeding populations. This dependence on temperature is what makes the beach not just a physical location, but a biological thermostat for the entire species. The ecological role of the green sea turtle is a crucial one, acting as the ocean's primary lawnmower, shaping the structure and productivity of the coastal ecosystems it inhabits. As adults, they are almost exclusively herbivores, grazing on seagrass beds with a specificity that is vital to the health of the marine habitat. Unlike terrestrial grazers who might rip up the roots, the turtle practices grazing optimization. It trims the tips of the seagrass blades, consuming the most nutrient-rich part. This constant trimming prevents the seagrass from growing too long and shading itself out, effectively cultivating the seagrass meadows and increasing the overall productivity, density, and nutritional value of the bed. Healthy seagrass beds are recognized as vital carbon sinks, absorbing and storing vast amounts of carbon dioxide far more efficiently than tropical rainforests. And they provide essential nursery grounds for juvenile fish, shrimp, and crustaceans. By maintaining the health of these underwater meadows, the green turtle supports the entire coastal food web, acting as a crucial link between the solar energy captured by the plants and the wider marine community. The loss of green turtles from an area leads directly to the overgrowth and eventual decline of these critical seagrass ecosystems, causing a cascade of negative effects throughout the environment. However, the turtle's longevity and slow reproductive cycle have made it profoundly vulnerable to the rapid changes of the modern era, leading to a complex and often tragic history of conservation and threat. Historically, the green turtle was both revered and exploited. Its name, in fact, reflects its value to European mariners, who prized the green fat and meat for consumption during long voyages, giving rise to the name green turtle and the highly sought-after dish known as turtle soup. This popularity proved to be its undoing. The commercial exploitation of the species for its meat, eggs, and carapace, which was often used for jewelry and decorative items, led to a catastrophic decline in global numbers throughout the 19th and 20th centuries. Today, the green sea turtle is listed as an endangered species globally, facing a relentless barrage of modern threats that compound their already fragile life cycle. The most insidious is plastic pollution. Turtles often mistake translucent plastic bags for jellyfish, a staple of many juvenile diets, leading to the ingestion of plastic debris that blocks their digestive tract and causes a false sensation of fullness, resulting in prolonged starvation. This threat is compounded by ghost fishing, where abandoned fishing nets and gear drift through the ocean, becoming lethal traps that entangle and drown the turtles, effectively creating a passive, lethal form of bycatch. Furthermore, the spread of fibropapillomatosis, a debilitating and often fatal disease that causes large tumor-like growths on the soft tissues of the turtle, particularly around the eyes and flippers, is now a global epidemic. This disease impairs their ability to swim and forage, and while the exact cause is viral, its increased prevalence is strongly linked to coastal pollution and degraded water quality, serving as a terrifying biological marker for the sickness of our oceans. Conservation efforts are now global in scale, focusing on the protection of nesting beaches by discouraging light pollution and human disturbance. The mandatory use of turtle excluder devices, or TEDs, in commercial fishing nets, and the creation of vast marine protected areas that allow the turtles to feed and migrate without interference. Moving beyond its biological reality, the green sea turtle occupies a massive sacred space in folklore, legend, and popular culture, where it is revered as a symbol of patience, longevity, and the enduring nature of the earth. Its spiritual significance stretches across continents, defining creation for numerous human cultures. In the Americas, particularly among the indigenous tribes of the Iroquois, Algonquin, and Huron nations, the turtle is a central figure in the cosmic egg or earth diver creation myth, which birthed the concept of Turtle Island. In these ancient stories, when the world was flooded, a benevolent deity or spirit needed a solid foundation for the new land. Various animals dove to the depths, but it was the great turtle who offered its immense, steady carapace as the eternal foundation. The Earth was placed upon its back, growing to form the continent we know today. This narrative elevates the turtle from mere animal to the cosmic anchor of the world, symbolizing stability, resilience, and the patient endurance required to bear the weight of all life. The shell, in this context, is not just armor. It is the physical manifestation of the Earth's foundation and the cycle of creation. The Pacific Islands and Polynesian cultures also hold the turtle in the highest regard, often calling it the honu. In Hawaiian lore, the honu is a mystical being, a protector, and a spiritual guide for sailors and travelers. Legends speak of the great green sea turtle that guided the first canoes of the Polynesians across thousands of kilometers of open ocean to find the Hawaiian Islands, utilizing its intrinsic knowledge of the currents and the magnetic map of the sea. The honu often appears as a benevolent shapeshifter, sometimes transforming into a beautiful young woman who watches over the children playing near the shore, a testament to its protective maternal spirit. Because of this spiritual reverence, there are strict taboos associated with the honu. Harming, disturbing, or consuming the turtle was often forbidden or strictly controlled by chiefs, a cultural conservation mechanism that protected the species long before modern law. In Asian mythology, the figure of the ancient colossal turtle or tortoise is linked to the foundations of the universe and cosmic order. While often a tortoise, the imagery directly influences the status of the sea turtle. In both Chinese and Japanese traditions, the black tortoise of the north, known as Xuanwu in China and Zhenbu in Japan, is one of the four symbols of the constellations, representing the element of water, the season of winter, and longevity. The green turtle, with its immense lifespan and global migration, seamlessly inherits this cultural mantle, viewed as a bringer of good fortune, a walking library of ancient knowledge, and a tangible link to the long-past ages. Its ability to live for over a century and return across oceans to its birthplace reinforces its cultural role as the master of time and destiny. However, in the Western maritime culture, particularly from the 17th to the 19th centuries, the turtle's cultural significance took a utilitarian and often cruel turn. The green turtle became essential to European colonial expansion and long-distance naval supply. The large size and herbivorous diet made it a perfect source of living, preserved meat. Ships would beach hundreds of turtles at a time, flipping them onto their backs where they would remain alive for weeks or months, serving as fresh protein for the crew, eliminating the need for bulky, salted meats. This practical exploitation led to the cultural association of the turtle with luxury and gastronomic status, culminating in the ubiquity of turtle soup, a highly coveted and symbolic dish in 18th and 19th century Europe and America, which became an emblem of wealth and high society. This culinary status drove the commercial slaughter that nearly extinguished the species, highlighting the brutal contrast between cultural reverence and economic value. The image of the turtle thus bifurcated in the Western mind, the mystical anchor of the ocean versus the prized commodity of the dinner plate. Characters like Crush from the film Finding Nemo embody this archetype. A chill, centenarian surfer dude navigating the ocean currents with effortless, enduring wisdom, speaking in a vernacular that contrasts sharply with his ancient age. This popular depiction has been enormously effective in environmental advocacy, casting the turtle not just as a victim, but as the wise elder of the marine ecosystem, a creature who is suffering the consequences of human folly. The figure of the turtle finds its ultimate symbolic apotheosis not merely in ancient myth, but in the witty meta-narrative of Terry Pratchett's Discworld novels. In this constructed cosmology, the turtle is elevated from a mere earth-bearer to the literal foundation of existence. Great Atuin, a colossal sea turtle of immense antiquity who swims eternally through space, carrying the four enormous elephants, Berillia, Tubal, Great Typhon, and Jerikeen, upon its back, who in turn support the flat, circular world of the disk. This central image in the Discworld's cosmic taxonomy functions as a satirical but profound critique of real-world creation myths, yet simultaneously imbues the turtle with an unshakable symbolic meaning of absolute indifferent permanence. Great Atuin's quiet, purposeful motion through the void represents the slow, inexorable turning of the universe, anchoring the chaotic, magical, and often absurd events of the disk's surface with a steady primal weight that transcends human understanding, a cosmic vessel whose destiny remains eternally unknown. The turtle's distinct silhouette is widely used by conservation organizations and oceanographic institutions as a logo, symbolizing the fragility and the profound mystery of the deep. Its annual pilgrimage to the natal beach is frequently celebrated in educational programs, emphasizing the species' loyalty and the need to protect the land-sea interface. The green sea turtle, therefore, lives a dual life, one of extraordinary biological struggle against a polluted, warming ocean, and one of enduring cultural significance as a planetary anchor and a guide. Its survival is not just a statistical count of population numbers, it is a spiritual test for humanity. If we can no longer maintain the health of the very foundations of our planet, the ancestral seas, and the magnetic paths that guide this ancient mariner, then the fate of the turtle becomes a dark prophecy for our own. Chelonia mydas is the living embodiment of longevity and connection, a symbol of the world we inherit and the world we have a duty to preserve. Its quiet, powerful journey continuing in the vastness of the sea. The turtle has borne the weight of the earth in legend for millennia. Now, its fragile existence bears the weight of human responsibility. Thank you and good night.